The Nigerians had no option but to auction all they had because they were suppressed by the government. And by then, Buzia passed this law that no foreigner should be engaged in. About 40 businesses he put down that no foreigner should engage in. So the Nigerians had no option but to leave. And it was a bad time in history. Nigeria had to sell, auction their cars. Nigeria had to auction their houses. Nigeria had to auction their businesses, their farm. Most were not even able to auction their businesses. They left it. And the indigenous Ghanaians took over their businesses, their cocoa farm. They lost their lives in custody. And as a result of this, it affected, traumatized the Nigerians. Just imagine you took huge amount of business and money to invest in Ghana. And even when you are leaving, the hard cash money, the money you were supposed to take, the banks refused to give Nigerians more than £2,000.
Have you ever stumbled on the truth before? That is what I want to show you right now. It is not coming from me. Dear Ghanaians, my lovely Nigerians, I just want to be honest with us. Not every Ghanaian is bad. Not every Nigerian is bad. There are good people out there. The only problem we have is that the good people sometimes pretend as if they are not seeing things. Sometimes they claim they want to mind their business. And you know, when good people remain calm, evil will triumph. And I love the fact that a Ghanaian is the one that is saying this. Until we are able to find the truth, until we are able to speak the truth, until we are able to talk about the truth, peace will not be restored.
Walking down the streets, feeling the breeze, in the sunshine state where dreams come with ease. Palm trees swaying with the ocean in view. This is the place where I always feel brand new. Sipping on a smoothie, chilling by the shore. Got my shades on, feeling like I can't be ignored. Sun-kissed skin, feeling so alive in the soft rap game. I strive to thrive. Waves crashing on the sand as I ride the vibe. Soft rap flowing, let the rhythm.
I want to take this opportunity to apologize to all my Nigerian brothers, both the state and the people of Nigeria, for I did not do justice when I was explaining about Nigeria must go, when I did explicitly explain everything that transpired when it comes to Ghana must go. So Nigeria must go. This is what actually happened. When history is being told, it must be told the right way. For we criticize the West for telling our history sadly for not explicitly explaining what transpired. This is what transpired in Nigeria must go. The entire Africa was one. When Kwame Nkrumah became the Prime Minister of Ghana, up to when he became president, he called on everyone who had money to come and invest in Ghana, that Ghana was open to the entire Africa and Ghana was open for business and they should come and invest. Nigerians, wealthy businessmen, were of 90% of the investors who moved to Ghana to invest. And the population of Nigerians in Ghana by then were up to 2 million Nigerians living in Ghana out of the 2.5 foreigners living in Ghana by then. But when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by Kotoka and the rest, then came Buzia in power as prime minister. When Buzia came, he was a staunch opposition to Kwame Nkrumah. He never liked Kwame Nkrumah and the policies. When he came, the very first thing he did was to dismantle Kwame Nkrumah's policy and brought in the Alien Compliance Order. When he brought in the Alien Compliance Order, this seek to sack every foreigner in Ghana. And he knew quite well that of all the foreigners in Ghana, Nigerians were 90% of them, and they were investors and businessmen. They invested in cocoa, invested in infrastructures, invested in all sorts of business, manufacturing, transportation, you name it. So when he passed this order and he gave them a deadline to leave, the Nigerians had no option but to auction all they had because they were suppressed by the government. And by then, Buzia passed this law that no foreigner should be engaged in. About 40 businesses he put down that no foreigner should engage in. So the Nigerians had no option but to leave. And it was a bad time in history. Nigeria had to sell, auction their cars. Nigeria had to auction their houses. Nigeria had to auction their businesses, their farm. Most were not even able to auction their businesses. They left it. And the indigenous Ghanaians Ghanaians took over their businesses, their cocoa farm. They lost their lives in custody. And as a result of this, it affected, traumatized the Nigerians. Just imagine you took huge amount of business and money to invest in Ghana. And even when you are leaving, the hard cash money, the money you were supposed to take, the banks refused to give Nigerians more than 2,000 pounds. And these people had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their account in Ghana. The banks refused to give money. And these Nigerians, we were in huge migration crisis. So as this happened, within that period, they were auctioning things in Ghana. Life was good because Ghanaians were rushing, buying Nigerian product as cheap as possible. Everything came down. The moment a Nigerian left, life became hell for Ghanaians. The crisis Ghana faced, the hardship, all the way to that of the farming period of Ghana started when Buzia passed this alien compliance law. The effect on Ghana when the Nigerians moved out, cocoa price fell, okay? And also Ghana lost cocoa production from 50% of global production to 30% because the Nigerians were the one doing cocoa farming. The prices of goods doubled because the Nigerians were the ones who made it possible for the prices to be cheap. And when the Ghanaians were left to do businesses, they wanted to be rich as quick as possible and double the prices. And also transportation became a problem because most of the cars were owned by Nigerians. Nigerians had invested in transportation system. So this was a problem. And loss of jobs because the businesses and factories and cocoa business, the farming were operated by Nigerians who had employed people. These people had left and jobs were lost. Okay, businesses collapsed. Ghana was in disarray. This was the start of Ghana problem that finally led to Ghana having famine. We would come to that for a latter part. What was the negative effect on Nigeria? Nigerians died. Yes, people who were in detention because the government held lots of Nigerians, and so some of them died in detention. What again? Nigerians lost houses, lost cars, lost businesses, money. The banks could not allow Nigerians to take more than 2,000 pounds from the bank because they didn't want this money to go. And these Nigerians had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their banks in Ghana. So this was a disaster. This was a problem. When the Nigerians returned, some were hoping to see back their loved one, but they had only to be greeted by the news that they had died in Ghana. This was a bad thing. Alien compliance law was what led to Ghana to fall in those periods until in the year 1985, when J.J. Rawlings went to Babangida to renew relations with Nigeria. That was when Ghana and Nigeria saw peace. Within this period, there was nothing like peace. So J.J. Rawlings moved to Babangida to make peace. But even when J.J. Rawlings moved to Nigeria, things were worse. Things were terrible for Ghana. Not until when President Kufuor became president of Ghana, year 2001, Kufuor moved to Nigeria, went to Nigeria and pleaded to the then president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, in the words of President Kufuor, not me, that Obasanjo is a gift to the African continent. Why did President Kufuor say this? Because when the economy of Ghana was in shambles, Ghana went hippie, meaning there was no money in Ghana. When Ghana was scattered, when the ones you call foreign donors, development partners, America, the Britain, you name it, all countries rejected Ghana. Nobody was there to come to the aid of Ghana. But Nigeria, and President Kufuor ran to Nigeria and laid down to Obasanjo. He didn't feel Obasanjo would help to say that, okay, we will resume supply of gas to Ghana to supply electricity. When he went, Obasanjo surprised him. Obasanjo did not only ask Kufuor that they should resume gas to supply to Ghana immediately, but also push the payments to almost 4 years back and also reduce the price for Ghana. And not only that, Obasanjo actually gave 30 million United States dollars to Ghana to buy cars for the police. I know that money was rejected by Obasanjo in Nigeria because Nigerians were blasting him as the president of Nigeria. But it is true. He helped Ghana. He assembled investors to come to Ghana to invest in Ghana. That is how come the infrastructure of Ghana today, housing, is at its peak. They're one of the best in Africa because the Nigerians came with their wealth, with their money to invest in Ghana. And Ghana is where it is today. And I will tell you, Nigeria has done a lot for Ghana. This I know most Nigerians don't know. That is how come President Kufuor, who ended saying that Obasanjo is a gift to Africa, named from 37 roundabouts, 37 to that of Achimota Forest as Obasanjo Highway in Ghana. This is as a result of the tremendous effort and help, aid from the people of Nigeria, from the government of Nigeria to Ghana to help boost Ghana's economy. This is history. We must not shy away from it. There is so much between Nigeria and Ghana. Why we must put asunder our fight. Why we must put asunder blaming one another. Let me tell you, one of the reasons is Nigeria and Ghana started fighting for AU together with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone brought this fire to Nigeria, brought it to Ghana, boiled Nigerians and Ghanaians, Nkrumah inclusive, the ITA Wallace Johnson and the rest, that you should fight for your independence and let's form Africa Union, which is, by then it was Organization of Africa Unity. Nkrumah championed it in Nigeria. But the white man skillfully came to Nigeria and told them, do not allow Ghana to head AU. And they went to Ghana and told them, do not allow Nigeria to head AU. The reason being is they knew these two countries were a powerhouse in Africa. Nigeria had immense wealth. So also is Ghana. If these two countries could blend their wealth together, I'm telling you, there is no way Ghana and Nigeria combined would not be able to give aid to other African countries.
And only the truth shall set us free. Are you a Ghanaian watching my content right now? That house you think your father owned, that he built before 1969, may likely be the house of a Nigerian Yoruba man. That car your grandfather drove, or that car you feel that your daddy drove a car before he bought a new one, or before something happened that he no longer drives, that car may belong to a Nigerian. That business that you inherited from your father or from your mother or from your uncle might have been the business of a Nigerian that your people forcefully took over from them. Have you bothered to ask yourself, why did the elders in Ghana try so hard to bury the truth? Why is it that in Ghana, the only thing that trends, the only time Ghanaians believed they were wronged was in 1982? Why? Why is it that Ghanaians do not sit down to tell their children the atrocity they committed against Nigerians in 1969? 1969 was a straw that broke the back of the camel. They did it in 1947. They did it in 1957. And they crowned it in 1969. Why are the elders in Ghana silent? You are silent because you know the truth. Because you know that the truth will overturn everything and your children will begin to ask some questions. You knew very well that what happened in 1982 was a retaliation. That part you are not talking about it. Dear Ghanaians, you left Nigeria with your bed, with your mattress. You left Nigeria with your radio and even your cars. Nigerians left with nothing. It was only the Nigerians that left earlier who saw the handwriting. Earlier, they were the ones that narrowly escaped. They didn't go with everything. They just picked some of their valuables and they left. Dear Ghanaians, your brother is telling you the truth. Many of you should go back and read your history. The way you abandoned the history book, start dwelling on the aftermath, will not help you. Nigerians chose to forgive. If not, you will not bounce back. I don't need to talk too much. I made a video about this last year. And I've been talking about it series by series. And now your brother is talking about it. Everything you need to know, he said them. Go Google. Google is there for you. When you dealt with Nigerians and you took our properties and you said we will only take £2,000, the millionaires, the Nigerians who controlled your economy, because you knew that the only way you will become rich is by stealing from Nigerians. Your parents did steal from Nigerians and they bounced back and your economy radiated. And when we left, you rejoiced, but you couldn't keep up with our businesses. You thought we became rich overnight. You mocked us. You said we were hoodlums, we were hooligans, we were criminals. You filled your prisons with Nigerians. And when we left, you couldn't become millionaires overnight. Because day and night, my people toiled. You were lazy when my people were working hard. Yet, you insisted on eating the fruit of our labor. So when we left, you couldn't keep up. Hijacking our properties will not be the problem. It is continuity to sustain the wealth. And you crashed. You crashed back to nothing. And your leaders went back to beg Nigerians. If not for the Aburi Accord, there wouldn't have been war in Nigeria. Because the said Aburi Accord actually made the thing worse when they went back to Nigeria. Go and read your history. Let's go back to the 60s. Awolowo was sent to prison because Awolowo plotted with a Ghanaian to overthrow a sitting president in Nigeria. Go check your history. But he was forgiven because it was realized that it was a Ghanaian. I don't want to mention the name of the Ghanaian. History is there for you. Just go and browse. Go and Google. He was forgiven because it was realized that he wasn't the one who planned the coup to overthrow the sitting military president. It was done by a Ghanaian. Go and type and check, you'll find out the truth. Aside that, a few years later, agitation arose between Nigerian government and the Biafran government. They thought that going to Ghana would settle the dispute. They went to Aburi. The Aburi Accord actually wasn't the situation when they came back. Go and check the news. Go and read your history. So when you thought you were making peace, war broke out. And when war broke out, during the heat of the war, you dealt us a heavy blow, despite the pleading from our leaders that you should not send back Nigerians. You saw that it was an opportunity for you to milk Nigerians in their pain, in their agony. The safe haven they had in Ghana, you quashed it. You sent them back to go to Nigeria and die. While you stole their resources, you stole their money. Oh, ye Ghana. Your people were wicked and terrible. Your elders sitting down and keeping quiet dealt with Nigerians. They dealt us a heavy blow. And when you came back crawling, they didn't answer you. So your people started migrating back to the stones that they rejected. And they filled Nigeria. Go and read your history. Why did Nigerians send Ghanaians back to Ghana? Go and read the stories, the robberies, the attacks and the bank robberies. Go back and read your histories, the agitations, the protests by Nigerians against the government, the instigations coupled with the anger of what happened in 1969. And that was why The agitation that Ghanaians must go was actually driven by our politicians. None of you remember the song you sang for Nigerians in 1969. They came back with nothing, only their movable items, their legs and their hands and their body. You instigated your government to mandate the Nigerian children to stop schooling. You said you don't want us to school, that we should only remain house helps and work in farms, the interior farms, and serve you. And your government agreed. Letters were written. People were sent to mediate from Nigeria. Go and read your history. The businesses they were doing, you tried so hard to stop them because of greed. Nigerians hustled. They wore good clothes because they are hustlers. They made the money. But you refused for them to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and you send them back to Nigeria. So I'm not proud of it. And that is why I still talk about it. I will not swallow what happened in 1982. It wasn't committed by me. But it must be said. The truth must be said. It should be documented so that the next generation will know what happened. But as they are knowing what happened, let them know what happened in 1969. People born in 1969 are 50-something years now. So they are both 50 years. Many of them are alive, although they were children then. Someone that is 60 years old was still tender then. Go and ask your fathers in their 80s. They knew the truth, but they hid the truth because they knew the atrocities they committed against Nigerians. Let me be honest with you. From then up through now, Nigerians are doing amazing for Ghanaians. When I say Ghanaians are ungrateful, you are ungrateful. I will not blame many of you. I will blame your elders who sat on the truth. Your politicians, they know the truth. That is why despite everything going on, they will still come forward to apologize that they are not part of your agitations. You better go and read your history.
Walking down the streets, feeling the breeze. In the sunshine state where dreams come with ease. Palm trees swaying with the ocean in view. This is the place where I always feel brand new. Sipping on a smoothie, chilling by the shore. Got my shades on, feeling like I can't be ignored. Sun-kissed skin, feeling so alive in the soft rap game. I strive to thrive. Waves crashing on the sand as I ride the vibe. Soft rap flowing, let the rhythm collide. I'm the king of this groove with the catchy hook. Got the ladies moving and the fellas shook. Just down the boulevard with the top down low. Music blasting loud, feeling the flow. Neon lights flicker in the night's embrace. Lost in the moment, in this rhythmic chase. Catching glances from strangers as I pass them by. In the city of dreams, where stars light up the sky. Every step, every verse takes me close to the high. In the soft rap world where I spread my wings and fly.